ABC's Karen Travers was there.
The president is getting that big ovation that he didn't get in 2020 at his convention. He didn't get on the campaign trail back then because, of course, during COVID, the crowds were small. The convention was a very different.
All right, and good morning to those of you on the video live stream. This is the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. It's 7 o'clock, and I've got a couple of friends in here today. Kate Gassman from TPC and Ryan Cheevers from Little Red Fern. Good morning. Thanks for joining.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
Thanks
Thank you for having us.
Okay, we did the warm-up smiles beforehand.
We did.
Are we doing? Okay. We've got somebody at the door. Are we expecting another person?
No.
Okay, so that's not us. Somebody else can get it. Great. So you're here to talk a little bit about Friday night. What are we calling this? Friday football tailgate.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that right. This is exclusive, the exclusive content portion, people on the video live stream. What is Friday football tailgate?
So essentially what Friday football tailgate is it's a college game day. So we've been talking for a long time about doing something at the high school level with like a college game day experience.
Okay.
It's just something you don't see. There are like recap shows and stuff like that post game, on Friday nights for football. But there's not a whole lot going on before games start. So so we decided to put together a 1-hour college game day style high school football pregame show.
Nice.
And we'll be on 4 high school campuses this fall, beginning with St. Joe, hosting Niles on August 30th. The show's been pretty flushed out, and now we're kind of into the nuts and bolts of like getting the messaging out there, and our hosts are doing their research, and we got a great thing going.
And Kate you're the director of the production.
Yep.
What is this when you direct this? What is it going to be?
Well, we have a big footprint, so we've got a big RV coming in. We've got a big stage, big tent. This you can tell something's happening. There's a jumbotron on a trailer that comes in.
Wow.
And the crowd comes in kind of behind with their big signs. And we've got a team of 3, our hosting team, Casey, Brent, and Ken. And they are kind of our analysts and sort of directing us through this experience. But we're going to meet people from both sides of the rivalry.
Wow.
We're going to talk about the energy in the stadium and what we can expect to see during the game.
Okay.
And why it's a big deal, why this matchup is important to our area. We're going to hear some kind of heartstring stories of players and folks that have been part of these programs before, or that have, had a meaningful experience with high school sports. And, it's something people can really relate to.
It's a story before the story.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Why are we here? What's this matchup mean? And it's exciting.
That's great. Okay. Hold that thought. We're going to get through news. Then we'll come back and ask you a little bit about yourselves for the rest of the folks here and go through this again. But this is exclusive content. Any secrets, any thoughts? How do people participate in this when it happens?
Well, they can go to FridayFootballTailgate.com and see more information. And the big thing is there's going to be food
because I'm envisioning people like milling about you, like yelling thing, going "Go team!" And that kind of thing.
I mean, we want the funny posters in the background because we'll have it'll be a 5-camera shoot.
Okay,
it'll be live to YouTube, but we want people on the ground there, and we'll be cutting away to kids with signs, and it's a team spirit sort of thing. We got people from Niles coming in, so it's not just going to be a St. Joe thing.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely check us out on the website, FridayFootballTailgate.com.
This is going to be fun. All right, we'll talk about this in just a moment. I'm excited. It's Friday football tailgate. It kicks off at St. Joseph High School on August 30th. We'll be back with Ryan Cheevers and Kate Gassman in just a moment.
Weddings, or even memorials. Over 45 years, we have named millions of stars for celebrities and individuals from around the world. To star, your name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Visit starregistry.com or call 800-282-3333.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is News Talk Sports 94.9. WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph. Depend on us. WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
53 degrees in Benton Harbor right now, 55 in St. Joseph. I'm Ken Lundberg. This is the WSJM Morning Show. Mostly sunny skies expected today, a high around 74, northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear and cool continues, a low overnight around 48 degrees. Some of the news that we're following from the WSJM newsroom this morning. Last week's Berrien County Youth Fair, a success. That's according to Fair Director Karen Klug. Fair organizers say more than 97,000 people attended the annual event this year. Klug noted that there was something for everyone at the fair.
We had a good week. We had a little bit more liquid sunshine than I would have liked. Well, over 1,900 youth exhibitors participated, over 12,000 exhibits. It was something for everybody to look at when they got here. And
Klug noted that this year's attendance numbers were just shy of expectations. They had hoped for 100,000, but they got 97,000. That's close enough. She believes that had to do primarily with the weather. She thanked volunteers and everyone who came out last week and is already looking forward to next year's event.
obviously, by next year's fair, we may do some things a little bit different, but our volunteers all worked really hard to help us achieve successful events. Our gate workers work hard to get everybody in, and sometimes there's a little bit of a line, but it's a good wait because that means there's going to be a good crowd.
Mark your calendars now because the 2025 Berrien County Youth Fair will be held August 11th through the 16th. The Southwestern Michigan Association of Realtors is advising home buyers and realtors alike to take a close look at the new rules for buying and selling real estate. This is part of the legal settlement involving the National Association of Realtors and Sales Commissions. Previously, when a home was sold, it was common for about a 6% commission paid by the seller and divided between the agents for the buyer and the seller. The courts have said that stifled competition and kept commissions higher than they would normally be. Now that the seller will decide whether and how much to pay a buyer's broker. Southwestern Michigan Association of Realtors executive Alan Jeffries tells us under the new rules, offers of compensation to realtors are prohibited on the MLS properties listings, and agent compensation will have to be negotiated ahead of time.
The old way was when a realtor listed a house, usually they would offer some type of compensation to a buyer's agent or to another broker that brought them a buyer. And that was listed in the MLS, and you could see what that amount was. That has been eliminated as of August 17th. So now in order to find out if the seller is offering any compensation for a buyer's agent to bring a buyer, they now need to call and negotiate that up front.
Jeffrey says this makes things more complicated up front for buyers and sellers. Also, he says realtors will now have to enter into a written buyer's agreement before touring a home with a potential buyer. Jeffrey says while that the changes make things more complicated, the Southwestern Michigan Association of Realtors accepts the new policies. Meanwhile, he tells us the Southwest Michigan real estate market itself is strong with both increased sales and increased inventory in July. 4 educators from Southwest Michigan have been honored by Youth Solutions at the organization's 8th annual Summer Summit held in Mount Pleasant. Youth Solutions Director Roger Curtis tells us more than 140 people were on hand for the summit, where Jobs for Michigan's graduates coaches received awards for the work they do with students.
The curriculum and the mentoring and the coaching that is part of Jobs for Michigan's graduates is done by what we call a specialist. And those specialists are part of our partnership program. And so every summer we bring those specialists.
Curtis says Jobs for Michigan's graduates prepares students not only for success in the classroom, but also in the workplace by teaching them how to interview, how to write resumes, and how to dress appropriately for the workplace.
We dig into some career exploration, career awareness opportunities for them so they can start to see the why are they in school and what is at the end of this. It's not just a diploma. It's not just your chemistry class, your math class. It's the skills that you're getting there that are going to transfer.
Also honored at the summit, Whirlpool Corporation for its mentorship programs in Southwest Michigan. Curtis says Whirlpool's involvement in the JMG program is truly unique when looking at other areas of the state. And finally, AAA of Michigan has issued a safety alert for all Michigan drivers as students prepare to return to school. AAA spokesperson Adrian Woodland tells us the biggest thing drivers should be prepared for is the increase in traffic that's about to be on the roads in the mornings.
That's why we alert drivers that it's really important that you're aware that the kids are back to school so that you can be alert, looking out for pedestrians, bicyclists, buses, as well as bus stops.
Woodland says drivers are reminded to give themselves some extra time in the morning so they don't feel the need to speed. She also has a reminder to students who walk or bike to school.
As parents, you want to advise your kids now that they're out there, if they are walking to school, you want to advise them to pay attention at all times. They want to avoid texting, wearing headphones so that they can detect nearby traffic.
AAA surveys have found 14% of drivers admit to going around school buses when the red lights are on and the arms are extended, the stop arms, that is. That's illegal in Michigan and stupid as well. Some schools around the state will be back in session as early as next week. Woodland says AAA wants everyone to be safe. 54 degrees in Benton Harbor right now, 55 in St. Joseph, heading toward a high of probably in the mid-70s today. It's 7:11. We've got our special guests in studio to talk about Friday football tailgate. That's coming up in just a moment right here on WSJM.
In sports, Sunday's rain-delayed NASCAR race at MIS resumed yesterday.
All right. Good. We doing all right?
Yeah, we're great.
We're doing okay? All right. We went right to the surprise to talk a little bit about what the Friday football tailgate is, but we didn't talk about who you are. So please, would you just give a little introduction for yourselves, and we'll do this again when we get back on the radio. But who are you? Who are you, Ryan Cheevers?
My name's Ryan Cheevers. So I run a company called Little Red Fern Productions.
And Brett Witkowski told me to ask you how you named your company.
It's wild. So
Yeah?
it was in 1998 when I played basketball for St. Joe.
Okay.
Brett was doing the color commentating with Phil McDonald.
Oh, okay.
We were at a game in Kalamazoo, and on the air he called me. I'm 5'8", playing against guys that are 6'3", 6'4".
So you got a lot
and
of heart.
I was kind of in amongst the trees, and he called me a little red fern in a big forest.
Are you kidding? He did that?
Phil turned to him and said, "What?" And he said that was the first thing that came to his mind. And my grandparents were back home. Someone was listening back here.
Yeah.
And they made the comment, and then
And you hated it, right?
I didn't like it because I have red hair. That was the big reason, and I never liked that part of me. But I thought, when I started my company, why not tie it into my personality a little bit.
Great story.
And have a little backstory to it. Yeah. He just found out about 3 weeks ago that he was responsible for that. So
that is funny.
Anyway, so my background's in film production, and so I write commercials, I produce commercials, and do a lot of video production locally. And
you do a lot with Midwest Families. There's the company that owns this station. So we see your work. We love your work. So thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I had no idea that Brett Witkowski was responsible for that. Thank you for sharing that backstory.
He's proud of that all of a sudden. So
he's proud of everything. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. All right. So Kate, Ryan, we'll ask you a little bit more about your background when we get back on the terrestrial in just a moment. But Kate, tell us just a snapshot of who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Kate Gassman. I am the production manager at TPC Technologies in Niles, and I produce live events. So not so much the TV side, but anything. I think it's more exciting because I get one shot, right?
Oh.
You do this one time, and if you don't do it right, then the event doesn't go well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
From the event design, what kind of audio, video, lighting, rigging, staging, all of that, talking to the client, figuring out what kind of event they're putting on, getting it all together, making sure it's staffed out and I have the right equipment, setting it up, and then actually directing the event day of, which is kind of where my role comes in this project.
When companies or entities of any kind decide we want to do a commercial or we want to do a live event like a concert or we want to do something else that involves lights, microphones, cameras, and speakers and all that stuff, that's TPC.
Yep. Fundraiser galas, corporate events.
Okay.
Anything from a wedding and a prom to a multi-day event. We were just down in Mississippi and Kentucky doing a national cheerleading competition. And I mean, anything and everything that involves event tech equipment.
All right. We're going to get back on the air here in just a moment and continue that conversation.
In those low 70s. Tonight, clear skies and cool. We drop all the way down to 48 for a lot of locations by Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday afternoon, partly sunny, highs at 77. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
All right, 7:15 on your Tuesday, August 20th. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg here. It is the WSJM Morning Show, and we've got special guests in the studio this morning. Ryan Cheevers from Little Red Fern and Kate Gassman from TPC Technologies, and they're here to talk about Friday Football Tailgate. We teased this right before 7 o'clock that there's something special by that name coming to St. Joseph, the high school, on August 30th. We'll talk about it in just a moment, but for those who don't know, let's introduce what Little Red Fern is and what TPC Technologies are, and who the people that are here today, who you are as well. So Ryan, give us again a brief introduction of who Ryan Cheevers is and what Little Red Fern is.
Yeah, I'm Ryan Cheevers. I'm owner and operator of Little Red Fern Productions. It's a video production house here in Southwest Michigan. My background is in video production, film production. So yeah, from commercials to testimonial videos to all sorts of different things as far as video goes. I'm a video editor. I do all sorts of things. So that's kind of the scope of what Little Red Fern's all about. And so, this whole project that we've got going on is a perfect fit for me because I get to create some fun content for it.
You had nothing going on Friday nights, you decided, right?
No, nothing, absolutely nothing.
So
I decided to really pack a lot in on Friday nights all of a sudden.
This seems like a really big deal. Kate was telling us on the video live stream for exclusive content. You can go to Facebook or YouTube and see the start of our interview at 7 o'clock. But Kate Gassman from TPC Technologies, give us just a little background on who you are and what TPC Technologies is.
Yeah, so I'm Kate Gassman. I'm the production manager for TPC Technologies out of Niles, and we do event tech. So anytime you have a live event and you need audio speakers, you need video like a Jumbotron, you need lighting for folks on stage, anything like that, we help you plan it and then bring all the equipment and set it up and help your event go well.
I am just fascinated because I've had the honor of working with TPC Technologies because back at Whirlpool Corporation, we had a whole bunch of events going on. They were mostly inward facing to employees. And oftentimes we worked with TPC to help us make sure that everything was right. The microphones worked for the people who were speaking and the cameras and the lighting and everything. And inevitably, we had it all wrong. TPC came in and got it all right. So thank you for doing what you do.
That's the fun part of my job. I get to figure out what you want to accomplish, and then I kind of help you figure out how to do that with the equipment that we have.
Yeah.
And I never do the same thing twice. I love it.
The equipment storeroom for a tech geek like me must be amazing.
It's pretty awesome. You should come to our shop and I'll show you around.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. But you're using all that technology and all this video production know-how, combining forces, kind of like the X-Men. And we're deciding that we're going to do the Friday Football Tailgate. What in the world is this idea? Who wants to go?
This is a 1-hour high school football pregame show, and we're doing 4 episodes this fall. And so this is sort of in the same style as College Game Day, something that everybody's familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
But we're putting our own spin on it. And, there's a select group of folks who have even been to a college game live or have played college football, and an even smaller group that have done NFL and pro. But how many people have been to a high school game? How many people remember that from when they grew up, whether you were in the band or, the cheerleaders or anybody, but that was the thing on Friday night.
Oh, yeah.
And so these are the rivalries that you remember from growing up. These are the rivalries your parents and your grandparents are part of. And this is something that it evokes such a strong memory for people, and that excitement is what we're going to capture.
Including the concession stand, right?
Yes, the concessions are opening early. We've got all kinds of snacks and food. We're going to have a photo booth. We're going to have all kinds of fun groups, from the school that are coming out. We'll have, we think, maybe the drum line, different student groups and organizations. There's lots to do, but make sure you bring your sign.
And so the signs, tell us more about that, because this is really beginning. Does it really start the atmosphere, or does it capture the atmosphere that's already there?
It's kind of both. Yeah. I mean, we want you to come early. We want the community to show up. I know that Niles is bringing it, man. Okay. So St. Joe needs to match that. They're going to bring 3 fan buses. So if you don't want the whole stadium to be Vikings, then St. Joe has to show up.
It's being laid down right here.
We'll have a table. You can make a sign there. But a big part of this, we've got a round desk, with our 3 hosts. But we've got to fill that background in. So we need folks from the community to bring their signs and, a foam finger or a Vikings helmet or
appropriate
a
fingers,
Bears
yes.
helmet or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, the kids will have a chance to. I mean, we'll have the jumbotron there right off set,
Yeah.
so they'll have a chance to see themselves on the jumbotron, and what kid doesn't want to see that? So so yeah, we're encouraging that. It's the experience really about what the show is. So you can watch it, you can listen to it, but to be there and experience it, that's what College Game Day has done such a great job with.
Yeah.
And the storytelling aspect, I think, is really what we're tying into.
Yeah, it's something that will lead up to the game. So what are we looking at, around 5:00?
Yeah, 5 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
And then there's an hour in between that to kick off. But again, like Kate mentioned, we're going to have a 3-hole mini golf course set up, bag toss, just those little elements that you see at tailgates, because it is at the end of the day, it's a tailgate with a show going on in the middle of it. So there's plenty for families to do. And it's just getting out there a little bit earlier to experience it.
That is awesome. And this will be broadcast. We're going to have it here. You can hear the audio on WSJM, but you're doing video. I mean, you're going all out. Where can people see this?
It's a web series, so we'll be on YouTube Live.
Okay.
During the stream from 5 to 6 p.m. on all 4 Fridays. And who knows where it'll go next season.
Oh, are we contacting ESPN to see if they can do some?
That would be great. We've had some interest from some places, I don't know. I mean, nationally a little bit, just a little bit of recognition there. People notice that what we're doing, we haven't even done a show yet. I just want to get one show off the ground. And we have some schools that have reached out wanting to be on the list. So to be included with this.
I mean, this is something that people are excited about. It's not a new idea, but I think we're the first ones really doing it right. And so they say, well, let's see what you can do. If this goes as well as we think it's going to go, then it's something that's going to take off.
That's really cool. So there are going to be 4 of these events. They start on August 30th with that St. Joe Niles game. And so you're asking people, bring it, because there are going to be cameras set up everywhere, every direction, and you're going to be looking for signs supporting your team's spirit.
That's right.
And right now we hear that Niles has 3 fan buses coming in.
Yep.
That's the word.
It keeps growing.
Yeah, it started
the number
with
keeps
1,
growing.
and then it went to 2. Now it's 3. So we expect them to show up by 4:30. But yeah, we'll be right off Dickinson Stadium, like the field there. You can't miss us once you pull up. And then, I mean, you'll be able to get really close to the stage and the action. Our hosts will be accessible before and after. So it's going to be a show and an experience for families to be a part of.
You, when we were on the video live stream just a few moments ago, you mentioned that this idea came to you fall of last year, sometime around October. Can you talk about that idea genesis?
Yeah, I think we've just been talking about, I think you mentioned, I'm more of a content creator, that storyteller. I like creating content, and Kate and her team are just great at execution and putting, productions together. So we had just talked about, let's do something that is unique. It's something different. And we mentioned kind of the game day style thing. And then, it just kind of snowballed. I think we spent a month and a half just trying to come up with a name, creating the logo.
Yeah.
And then once the website went live and we started meeting with schools, that's when it felt a little bit real. And so now here we are, less than 10 days away from our first show. And it's almost surreal. I turned to Kate at one point while we were off the air and said, it's weird that we're actually at this point. It's very cool because we worked so hard at this.
Kate, you're the director of this production. How do you feel 10 days out?
Oh, well.
You ready?
When you produce a live event, there's always last minute details.
Right.
But we're ready. We've got a fantastic team. The third sort of executive portion of this is Randy Hendrickson. He owned DPM events for 28 years, and he's our tech director. So he's kind of working behind the scenes to make sure that we've got all our equipment and our set and everything ready. And we have a fantastic host team as well. Casey Standahar is our host. She has done work with Fox Sports and what else?
ESPN and Marquee Network. And so she's and done stuff with the Chicago Bears, last 2 NFL drafts with the Bears. So she's bringing her experience from Chicago, which is great.
We've got Brent Lesniak as one of our analysts, who was a all-star player from Dowagiac and really a powerhouse. He played college football under Brian Kelly at Grand Valley State. won a national championship, I
Yep.
think.
And he played in the Arena League and was an All-Pro in the Arena League. So he's been doing a lot of analysis and stuff via radio for the past few years. And then Ken Dietz, who's a retired athletic director who just knows if you're with him, someone's going to stop and say hello to Ken. He knows sports, he knows football, and we're excited to have him on as well.
Wow, that is awesome. So you've got an all-star lineup who's going to be producing on the front end, on the back end of this as well. And this happens on August 30th. It is the Friday Football Tailgate. You can see it on YouTube and on Facebook platforms as well. And if you for some reason are not in front of your computer for that, you can hear it right here on WSJM. And that is exciting. What else do we need to know about this?
Well, let's see. I mean, there's a lot that's going to be going on. I mean, Kate can break it down a little bit more, but like our show is kind of broken up into different segments. So we're going to highlight St. Joe. We're going to have Coach Pratley on from St. Joe with a player, Coach Shaw on from Niles. And then, like Kate mentioned, just these special interest stories that kind of tug at the heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not just, highlighting and hyping the game. There's a lot more of deeper stuff that goes on during the show that I think people will appreciate. But again, at the end of the day, someone's going to put, we're going to do predictions at the end to see who they think is going to win. And I would love nothing more if there's a little drama with, maybe Ken or Brent or Casey decide to pick Niles to see what the St. Joe crowd thinks of that, on their home turf.
Little tension is a good thing. It helps tell the story.
Yeah, conflict's not bad, right?
Exactly. All right. Anything else to add, Kate?
That's all. This is the matchup and the rivalry and the high school experience that you remember.
And so the event sounds fantastic, and we look forward to that. Let's talk business numbers for just a second. Do you need any more sponsors? So you want to make a pitch out there?
We are always looking for sponsors. So we have, it's 4 games. So we go from St. Joe hosting Niles to Lakeshore hosting Portage Central on September 13th. And we have plenty of, we would love to talk to a partner in the community if they're interested. And then we're Watervliet at South Haven on October 4th. And then Buchanan at Dowagiac on October 18th. So these are 4 big events. So yes, absolutely. Sponsors, if you're interested, definitely reach out. FridayFootballTailgate.com. You can find our information.
Okay. And then next season, if all goes to plan this season, can we look ahead to next season? Is that all right?
What
happens?
We can maybe share a little bit.
Okay.
We're still very much in the works on that, but what do you want to know?
What's going to happen next season? Is it going to get bigger? Is it going to get better?
Yeah, we're gonna grow for sure. This is snowballing. It's something that everybody's excited about, and nobody's really done right yet. And so we're.
I see this going nationwide. This is going to be
absolutely.
great.
There's nationwide interest for sure, and so we're looking for teams for next year already. And we've had quite a few inquiries. We've had people ask us to bring it to the East Coast and the West Coast, and high school football's everywhere.
I love it. Love it. All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. It's Friday Football Tailgate. It kicks off at St. Joseph High School on August 30th. And it's going to be something like you've never seen at the high school level before. It's put on by Little Red Fern and TPC Technologies. Ryan Cheevers from Little Red Fern, Kate Gassman from TPC Technologies. By the way, we need to get TPC in here. You're going to look at the playback of this, and the lighting for me, fantastic. For you guys,
there's a shadow.
There's a shadow. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
It's okay.
I was cringing when I knew, oh no, there's specialists coming in who do this for a living. So, all right. But anyway, well, thank you for coming in. We really appreciate your time today.
We appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And so if you want more information on that, once again, the website,
FridayFootballTailgate.com.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll continue the WSJM morning show. We've got news coming up in just a moment.
Loan rates are trending downward. Are you ready to make your move? Sturgis Bank.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the behind the scenes exclusive content, but hundreds of people end up watching this by the end of the day.
I did promise. Ace Hardware is like they're the exclusive sponsor for St. Joe game. So and then we have one for the Lakeshore game too. So at least a couple shout outs.
Say nice things about them right now. Go ahead.
So we just want to thank our sponsors. Ace Hardware is sponsoring St. Joe Niles game. Boss Services is sponsoring the Lakeshore Portage Central game. We got Zenby, Yellow Pea Pasta Company, RealTruck.com's involved, Remax by the Lake, Alliance RV is donating their RV for the show, RC Photography, TPC, Red Canoe Furniture, Brown and Luchak Family Dentistry and T-shirt Printing Plus.
And One Fine Day special events.
And WSJM.
Fantastic. That's us.
WSJM Sports and News Talk. So we're excited.
That's great. Well, no, we are excited to see this. We're excited to hear this and looking forward to it. If you need anything else, just give us a call.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. All right. That's exclusive video content right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got news continuing after this.
In 2007, I've dedicated myself to providing our community with the highest quality automotive service. Visit Autobahn Imports today and experience the difference dedication makes.
What would you call a free account that helps you save automatically? Amazing? Incredible? Too good to be true? We call it Thrive Savings. Every month you meet your linked Thrive checking account qualifications, your cash rewards automatically transfer to this free account and earn a great rate too. Effortless savings at Sturgis Bank, your community bank. Visit sturgis.bank to learn more. Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact Sturgis Bank for details. Member FDIC.
Are you a small business owner trying to do more with less? This is Sarah Spoonholtz with the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber, and we're here to help you realize your potential. Some organizations stop at the ribbon cuttings, but you and I both know that's.
All right. We will get to news in just a moment. Just to wrap up, that was Ryan Cheevers from Little Red Fern Productions, and then Kate Gassman with TPC Technologies. Fantastic idea that they've got. They're putting together the high school football game pregame show to spotlight not only the rivalries and the competitive matchups, but also to talk about the stories behind the stories, which I find the most fascinating part leading into a football game is you really understand what's at play, who's playing, and what they're bringing to that game. So again, Little Red Fern Productions and TPC Technologies bringing you Friday football tailgate. It starts at 5 p.m. on August 30th. They'll have it on YouTube and on Facebook, just like we stream right here, right now. But they'll have that there. And if you're not in front of a computer, you can just listen to the audio because we'll be rebroadcasting it right here on WSJM. All right, we're going to get back to news in just a moment right here. Thanks for joining.
Inspiring students to think, learn, achieve, and care in a global community. Visit homeoftheshamrocks.org.
Who do you call when you have the most unique towing job ever? Well, when the Neon Grill wanted to take down the classic Chevy from their roof for restoration, they called Hassey's Towing and Crane Service. They trusted Hassey's to handle it. Hassey's Towing and Crane Service has the area's largest fleet of tow vehicles and cranes to accomplish almost any lifting job. Got a unique tow or lift job? Call Hassey's Towing and Crane Service, 927-3681. Hassey's Towing, the trucks with the red, white, and blue.
The Bloomberg Business Minute on WSJM is brought to you by Sturgis Bank and Trust. Let's grow together. Serving Berrien Branch, Kalamazoo, St. Joseph, and Van Buren counties. Now with 2 new locations in St. Joseph, downtown, and on Cleveland Avenue. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute.
Okay, right after the Bloomberg Money Minute, we'll get back to our news. You should have told me that my hair was messed up. That's all right. It's time for a haircut anyway. We do have a beautiful forecast. If anyone out there see the blue moon or the super moon or the both, I looked at it this morning and it was incredibly beautiful. Not that it isn't always, but it was a very clear night or morning to see that. So the super moon, blue moon out there. Got the weather forecast and news coming up in just a sec. Be right back.
Source tells Bloomberg News that Seagram heir Edgar Bronfman Jr. has formally submitted a $4.3 billion bid to take control of the company. Paramount had already accepted an offer from Skydance Media, led by David Ellison. And futures are mixed this morning after a higher close to start the week on Wall Street. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you again to Ryan Cheevers and Kate Gassman coming in to talk a little bit about Friday football tailgate that kicks off August 30th. We are just 10 days away from seeing that and hearing that production. It's kicking off at the St. Joseph High School on August 30th. high school football. It's a pregame show spotlighting the historic rivalries, the competitive matchups, the stories behind the story, and more. And we'll just continue to we can't wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll have it here on WSJM, but it'll also be on Facebook and on YouTube for you to see as well. So if you need more information on that, just go to Friday Night Football. Let's see, I'll get the correct website here in just a second. But they do have 4 games. It's going to be at August 30th at St. Joseph High School when they take on Niles, September 13th at Lakeshore High School when they take on Portage Central. October 4th, it'll be at South Haven High School for Waterville Elite High School, that matchup there. And then on October 18th, it'll be at Dowagiac High School where they take on Buchanan. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch and to listen to. This is WSJM. It's 7:36. We've got news from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Biden giving his keynote address at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, telling delegates and others in the audience at the United Center that picking Kamala Harris as his running mate was one of the best decisions of his career.
Her story represents the best American story. And like many of our best presidents, she was also vice president. That's a joke.
Barack and Michelle Obama will speak tonight. Bill Clinton and Tim Walz on Wednesday, and Kamala Harris accepts the nomination, will speak Thursday. Democratic Senator Bob Menendez is retiring today following his conviction on corruption charges. He'll be sentenced in October. The bodies of 6 Israeli hostages recovered overnight in an operation outside the Gaza Strip. The remains all discovered in a southern Gaza town. Secretary of State Antony Blinken back in Tel Aviv, pushing for a ceasefire deal, including a U.S.-backed plan to end 10 months of fighting in the Strip. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:37 right now. Temperature outside is 54 degrees in Benton Harbor, 56 already in St. Joseph, still 50 degrees in Dowagiac. It's chilly outside. It feels like football. Once again, thank you to the team who came in this morning, Ryan Cheevers and Kate Gassman, to talk a little bit about Friday football tailgate. Again, that kicks off at St. Joseph High School on August 30th, and you can hear it right here on WSJM. The forecast for today does call for mostly sunny skies, a high around 74, northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear and cool, low around 48, and Wednesday, partly sunny, high around 77. Again, those south winds continue 5 to 10 miles per hour. The news that we're following this morning, coming up at 8 o'clock, we'll talk about the Nuclear Regulatory Commission and their special inspection that they've launched at Cook Nuclear Power Plant in Bridgman. It follows multiple diesel generator failures at the facility over the last 2 years. The NRC says that the Cook plant has had multiple generator failures during routine testing. They say that's a no-no, so they are inspecting as we speak. We'll talk about that coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. After further review, the Benton Harbor City Commission has approved a lease on private property to serve as a new location for an outdoor fitness court. Earlier this month, we told you about this. Commissioners tabled a lease idea with ARP Global Holdings on a small parcel of land on West Main Street, just across from Dwight P. Mitchell City Center Park. At the time, commissioners and the mayor objected to using private property for the exercise equipment because the city has so many parks to use. Well, they revisited the matter and they changed their minds and they approved a lease for about $1 a year until the year 2030. We'll tell you more about that coming up at 8 o'clock. And the Lincoln Township Board of Trustees is looking for a new township manager. They're doing interviews this Thursday. We'll tell you more about that, who's interviewing for the role and why. That's coming up at 8 o'clock right here on the WSJM Morning Show. Again, 54 degrees in Benton Harbor right now, 56 in St. Joseph, 50 degrees in Buchanan. It's a chilly start to the day. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got sports coming up after this on State News.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow speaking during the first night of the
Okay, one of the things, let's see here, that I was going to talk about, I don't know if we'll have time on the air, so we'll just talk about it here on the video live stream. George Santos. So we heard on the news, on the national news, about New Jersey U.S. Senator Bob Menendez resigning. I mean, he's got to get out of office because he's convicted now of accepting payoffs to do favors within the United States government, specifically the Senate. But former Republican, that was a Democrat from New Jersey, former Republican Representative George Santos pleaded guilty yesterday to aggravated identity theft and wire fraud charges stemming from fraudulent activity during his 2022 midterm campaign. That comes just a couple of weeks before the ex-congressman was set to stand trial on nearly 24 federal charges, including allegations of fraud related to COVID-19 unemployment benefits, misusing campaign funds, and lying about his personal finances on House disclosure reports, all of which he had to admit to in an allocution statement yesterday. Now, Santos will serve a minimum of 2 years in prison. This is part of the stipulation, the agreement, and pay restitution of $373,000. Is that really enough? Because if you think about it, he occupied a seat in the United States Congress in the U.S. House of Representatives for far too long under false pretense. I mean, he admits to lying, and he says he deeply regrets his conduct. He accepts full responsibility for his actions. I mean, sure, yeah, 2 years in prison, life-changing, you would imagine. Restitution of $373,000. Is that? I wonder if that is the same as his salary was during that period of time that he was in Congress. I don't know. I don't think they get as high as $373,000, but we'll have to check. But anyway, it just seems like that might be a small pittance for the power that he had and the hoodwinking he did for the people in his congressional district. Speaking to reporters outside the courthouse, the former congressman said he had allowed ambition to cloud his judgment. Pleading guilty is a step I never imagined I'd take, but it's the right thing to do, Santos said. He said, it's my own recognition of the lies I told myself. Prosecutors say they were prepared during trial to present more than 500 exhibits of evidence, including cell phone evidence, information downloaded from Santos's iCloud account, and financial records. The plea to charges of committing wire fraud and aggravated identity theft marks an end to the nearly 2-year saga that saw Santos lie about his resume as he sought election to New York's 3rd congressional district. He won that seat, but ultimately was charged with 23 federal counts and was expelled from Congress last year. So we've got more to talk about on the WSJM Morning Show. We've got the Moody on the Market update. Let's see what else we have to talk about today. Oh, business news, more business news. Circle K looking to purchase 7-Eleven. I know we don't have a lot in the immediate area, but people are familiar with 7-Elevens. So there's a deal afoot. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. Right here on the WSJM Morning Show, let's check in and see who's with us this morning. John says, good Tuesday morning, everyone. Good morning, John. Bill says, good morning, guys. Good morning, Bill. And Diane says, good morning, everyone. Well, thank you, Diane. We appreciate you. Teresa, you out there? Good morning to you, Teresa. Stephanie, you out there? Good morning, Stephanie. All right. It's 7:43. We'll be back in just a few moments right here on WSJM.
C match in Brandywine. Dowagiac was first at 194, followed by South Haven at 206, Michigan Lutheran at 216, Comstock at 235, and Casabos at 240. Berrien Springs and Brandywine had no team score. For the rest of the scores from last night and the schedules for today's games, check out this station's website. With your morning sports for Tuesday, August 20th, I'm Dave Wolf.
During Toyota's national sales event, you can choose from more hybrid and all-wheel drive vehicles than anyone else, including the family-size Highlander. Now through September 3rd, get any new gas-powered 2024 Highlander and get $1,000 APR cash or $500 on Highlander Hybrid when financed with approved credit through TFS. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Get the deal, not the ordeal, at Signature Toyota, your local Toyota dealer. SignatureToyota.com.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
Hi, I'm Jenny, the manager over at your Big Deals online store. Did you know that when you shop locally, 83 cents of that dollar stays in town? Local businesses are the lifeblood of our community, and that's why you should shop your Big Deals online store. Dozens of gift certificates to local businesses, all in one convenient place. And best of all, they never expire.
Don't wait. Go to BigDealsSWMI.com today.
Join St. Joe today for an eclectic artisan fair at picturesque Lake Bluff Park. Visit stjoetoday.com for dates. This is a free event and open to the public, so be sure to bring your friends and family. There will be a large amount of unique handicrafted items to check out from over 50 different vendors. Everything from home decor, furniture, jewelry, candles, art, and much more available to purchase. Stop by to see what our local artisans have to offer at St. Joe Today's Lake Bluff Artisan Fair.
From ABC News, Tech Trends, 0 to 60 in 1.7 seconds and 2,100 horsepower. Just a few of the eye-popping stats for the new Rimac Navara R, an electric supercar unveiled this weekend.
It's not just the car, it's building the capabilities, the company around it to actually do it in a country that never built cars before, in Croatia.
CEO Mate Rimac says high-end electrics like this one are in a tough spot because big performance numbers are now easy to come by all across the price spectrum.
Incredible performance, actually, when you compare it to like a few years ago, it was only reserved for like extreme hypercars. This is now available to a wider range of people.
Which means manufacturers like Rimac need to find something to distinguish themselves.
And that's always a challenge with electric cars. How do you convey motion without the sound of a combustion engine?
The Navara R will be limited to 40 units, all going for $2.5 million. With Tech Trends, I'm Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Beautiful day today, mostly sunny skies. A little cool this morning in the low 50s. We're going to end up at 74 later this afternoon near the lakeshore. We're still going to be in those low 70s. Tonight, clear skies and cool. We drop all the way down to 48 for a lot of locations by Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday afternoon, partly sunny, highs at 77. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It is 7:47 on your Tuesday morning. 54 degrees in Benton Harbor, 56 in St. Joseph right now. We've climbed up to 51 degrees in Buchanan now. They had been right around 50 degrees for the morning. Yeah, it's a chilly start to the day. I with the air conditioning and the chilly outside, I even decided to put on a long sleeve, I don't know what you call this, a sweatshirt of some sort. Anyway, so you just might keep that in mind as you head outside today. It's time for your Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And we're talking about Jersey Mike's. We're finally talking about Jersey Mike's subs. They are on the way, and you can see the article at moodyonthemarket.com. They're on the way quietly, very quietly. And we say that because one of our contributors, Gail Olson, had been trying to get in touch with the people who were behind this because we knew about this for some time. We just wanted to get the official comment from the Jersey Mike's folks. And every time I asked Gail about this, he came back with, again, a fascinating tidbit on where they sent him this time to try to find somebody to talk. But we finally got some additional information, and we're presenting it here because people are excited about the Jersey Mike's subs that's coming to the area. Sandwich wars are heating up in Twin Cities. It's unclear exactly when the actual battle will begin for your deli sandwich loyalty. Jersey Mike's first sandwich shop in Michigan's Great Southwest is under construction right now at 1963 M139. It's in the former Payday Cash outlet that was once a frozen yogurt shop on the corner across from Wendy's and Bell Tire. Jersey Mike's has been a missing entry on the region's sandwich menu. Sure, you had Subway's, sure, you had Jimmy John's, but you hadn't had Jersey Mike's. The menu for sandwiches has pretty much been dominated by Jimmy John's sandwich shops for a few years. Several favorite local deli spots also make up the rest of the market. MoodyOnTheMarket.com has literally been pursuing comments and details from the apparent Jersey Mike's franchise owner for a couple of weeks. I'm going to say a month. It's been longer than that, Gail, with absolutely no response to our calls and messages. While rejection of free publicity is certainly an American right, it is curious, and we'll be happy to talk to them when they're ready. In the meantime, we're telling you what we know so far. The long vacant building was acquired by real estate investors in Green Bay, Wisconsin. They made their initial contacts and inquiries with the Benton Charter Township. However, the property owner told us that he actually, even though he owns the property, has nothing to do with the plan for the Jersey Mike's there. He just simply owns the real estate. And eventually, a phone number from the Detroit area was said to be the franchise owner who will open the sandwich shop. However, no company name and no owners' names have been forthcoming. They weren't on the paperwork that we looked at, the government paperwork. And there's been no confirmation of any plans. There's been no mention of a timetable for Jersey Mike's opening, not even a no comment. So the only outward progress we saw was the building and an addition of a sign at the site last week that said Jersey Mike's. So you can read the full story. Gail gets into the passions of sandwich fans. They know their favorites. They know their best. And we'll see if Jersey Mike's eats into some of the sandwich market. Get that? Eats into some of the sandwich market. We'll have that. Meanwhile, Jimmy John's is expanding with a third local store along Red Arrow Highway in Stevensville, in addition to its downtown St. Joe location and its Napier Avenue locations. Delivery, of course, is a differentiator at Jimmy John's. So the sandwich wars are ready to proceed, and Gail Olson has a fine article there if you want to read that full piece. It's pretty funny. MoodyOnTheMarket.com. The Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We've got more news to talk about. It's coming up in just a moment right here on WSJM. It's the morning show.
Rich Brand and Tara Halsey from Insurance Management Service, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and
I tell you, you do not want to get on Gail's bad side. and it's not really his bad side. It's just his frustrated side, because he had been going far and wide to try to get somebody to talk about what they were doing there. They had to get their building permits. They had to check in with the city. We talked with Kathy Yates, the supervisor of Benton Township, about it. She said, yeah, they're coming. They're on their way. And we just had to sleuth around and get information, and it just wasn't very forthcoming. So I'm sure we'll get some more information as it comes forward. But yeah, confirmation, Jersey Mike's is coming. I've never had a Jersey Mike's sub. Are they good? Well, anyway, you can tell me later. We've got more news to talk about here. I'm going to wrap up the video live stream here in just a moment. But we're going to talk in a moment about Circle K and 7-Eleven. And then they'll also talk about GM, because they announced some layoffs right after the program yesterday. We did not get a chance to talk about that. So we'll talk about the GM layoffs and what that means for that area. If we have time this morning, I'd like to talk about Smell-O-Vision. Smell-O-Vision, it's actually AI. There's somebody who used to work with Google, or maybe they still work with Google, who has cracked the code on how to get AI to smell things. So we've got 5 senses. We've got sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. And so far, sight, sound, AI's got cornered. Now they're getting into the smell category. So we'll talk about that if we have time this morning. If not, we'll talk about it tomorrow. All right. Well, thank you for joining the WSJM Morning Show, and thank you to those joining on the video live stream as well. You can always join the video live stream on Facebook and YouTube, and if you miss any part of it, you can go back later on in the day, maybe while you're at your desk working, just tune in, or doing some housework or whatever you do. Just tune in on YouTube or Facebook and watch the video archive of that. Again, from 7 to 7:30 this morning, we had a great interview with a couple of folks who are bringing something new to the area. It's the Friday Football Tailgate program. Ryan Cheevers from Little Red Fern and Kate Gaspin from TPC Technologies. They're putting together a game day style broadcast, and it's going to be at the St. Joseph Niles game on August 30th. You can hear the audio right here on WSJM, but you can see it on their Facebook and YouTube streaming platform. So that's exciting. It's a lot of fun. It does sound like a lot of fun. A couple of things to get to before we get to 8 o'clock and ABC News. The Canadian owner of Circle K convenience stores has made a bid to buy 7-Eleven. This would be the biggest foreign takeover of a Japanese company on record and the largest cross-border acquisition this year. In a statement yesterday, Seven & I Holdings, the operator of 7-Eleven, confirmed it had received an offer from Canada's a Canadian company to acquire all of its outstanding shares. That company owns Circle K. They have 7-Eleven folks have formed a special committee, they say, to evaluate the proposal, and that no decision has yet been made on whether or not to sell to Circle K. I wonder if they have a choice. The special committee intends to conduct a prompt, careful, and comprehensive review of the proposal, the standalone plans, and other alternatives for enhancing corporate value, after which a response will be made to that company being those who own Circle K. The Circle K owners confirmed what it called a friendly proposal to acquire Seven & I, but said there can be no certainty that a deal will be struck. The company is focused on reaching a mutually agreeable transaction. So they say they're playing nice right now. That's what they say. Shares of Seven & I closed almost 23% higher in Tokyo on Monday, pushing the company's market value to just above $38 billion. Who knew 7-Eleven was worth $38 billion? Does that come with a slushie? That suggests a deal value in excess of any other foreign-led takeover in Japan since Dealogic started collecting data back in 1995. It would also be the largest cross-border takeover globally in 2024. The takeover bid comes after the Japanese government made it harder for companies to ignore unsolicited offers. The changes to corporate takeover guidelines are expected to boost foreign investment into the country. So that's interesting. So 7-Eleven, it was not originally owned by the Japanese. 7-Eleven traces its roots back to Dallas, Texas. But the late Japanese entrepreneur Masatoshi Ito was credited with turning it into a global brand that sells everything from yogurt and ready-made meals to medicines. Ito died last year at the age of 98. So apparently a company ripe for some new blood there. GM made this announcement yesterday after the morning show. General Motors is laying off more than 1,000 salaried employees globally in its software and services division following a review to streamline the unit's operations. The layoffs, including roughly 600 jobs at GM's tech campus near Detroit, come less than 6 months after leadership changes overseeing the operations, including former Apple executive Mike Abbott leaving the automaker after less than a year due to health reasons. That he left in March. As we build GM's future, we must simplify for speed and excellence, make bold choices, and prioritize the investments that will have the greatest impact. That's what a GM spokesperson said in an emailed statement. As a result, we're reducing certain teams within the software and services organization. We're grateful to those who helped establish a strong foundation that positions GM to lead moving forward. Now, GM declined to disclose the full number of layoffs, but a source familiar with the matter who declined to be named because the information is private confirmed more than 1,000 salaried employees would be laid off, including 600 in Warren, Michigan. And impacted employees were notified yesterday morning. So, unfortunate news there. The layoffs represent about a 1.3%, they say, 1.3% of the company's global salaried workforce of 76,000 as of the end of last year, and that includes about 53,000 U.S. employees. So unfortunate news there. All right, we've got more to talk about this morning, including Smell AI. We'll see if we can get to that this morning. There's, AI can do everything now. Well, apparently it can also do smelling. We'll talk about that soon. All right, thanks for hanging in there. It's the WSJM Morning Show, and that ends the live stream for today. We will be back tomorrow. We've got another guest coming in. Let's see, who do we have coming in? Oh, we've got the police coming in tomorrow. We'll talk about that. It'll be fun. It will be. Well, we'll talk about good, serious stuff, too. All right, thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow.